Hello and welcome into the Knicks-Verse Game Day Live with our first guest of the season, the man, the fabulous writer for The Guardian, Bleacher Report, I believe, as well, right?
Yep.
Mr. Lee Escobedo just dropped an excellent article about Mark Cuban, The Guardian, which you should all check out. He's an avid Knicks fan, and welcome, brother. It's good to see
Appreciate that, man. Great to be back. I missed you, bro. You're like, after KOT, you're my favorite person to talk ball with. So it's so good to see you and to be commiserating with you today.
Appreciate that, man. Thanks so much for the love. Love talking Knicks with you and just talking life with you, man.
Yep.
Missed that as well. It was a dark year last year, aside from the Knicks stuff. So it's good to seeing a little sunshine right now. And man, are we seeing a lot of sunshine at MSG right now? That team is on fire. I mean, it is after the Detroit Pistons, who had a bizarre game the other night against who was that? What was the team they barely beat? I went into overtime.
Washington?
The Wizards, yes. The Wizards went into overtime. And Cade Cunningham needed, I think, 400 shot attempts. They squeeze out a victory. But the Knicks, I would say the Knicks are the team that's surging up the charts right now.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to the chat. Welcome everybody. This is a pregame show, Game Day Live. We're just going to talk Knicks. Of course, we're going to preview the game against. Oh, you know what? I need to change this. The overlay here. Got the old overlay from last night. From last night's thrilling. Well, first 2.5 quarters were thrilling. Actually, let's talk a little bit about last night's game before we move on. Just after getting almost 20 hours of reflection on it. Any new thoughts about it in hindsight?
This is the most fun I've ever had as a Nets fan. I've never seen an offense like this. I think maybe even in the NBA, maybe once or twice, once from San Antonio in the early 2010s and then the recent OKC Thunder, but certainly not from my New York Knicks. I mean, there's nothing ISO or heliocentric about this New York offense. This is a lot of ball movement and record high number of threes, record high number of assists per game. I love it. It's everything I've ever wanted in a team that has a legitimate superstar and superstar role players around him as well. Mikhail, OG, Cat, all feasting. Josh Hart looking back to normal. And we had the luxury of playing a team that is actively in disarray. It kind of reminds me of like Knicks teams of years past, where it's like, oh, wow, you drafted this lottery pick and now they don't want to be there anymore. How do you move off of them? And he's actively tanking both his value and his perception around the league. Ja Morant gave one of the most hideous and embarrassing efforts last night that I've seen in decades. I was actually felt secondhand embarrassment for Memphis Grizzly fans, just how awful he was playing. It felt like every pass to the post was a purposeful potential turnover. He just couldn't wait to get pulled and sit on the bench and mope. But the Knicks, luckily, didn't give up. And when they started making the surge, Jalen Wells started splashing shots on us in the late third quarter, early fourth. The Knicks prevailed. And when you need a bucket, Tom Thibodeau has been enough of that foundation where Jalen Brunson has his spots that people know where he did him an easy look in the mid-range, and he went to work and was surgical in scoring that fourth quarter to keep us ahead of the float. So, man, this team is everything I've ever wanted on both sides of the ball, and I feel like we're only at if there's 4 tiers, Pokemon tend to have 3 tiers. We're just emerging into the second tier. I feel like there's a whole nother warp speed that we can kick into, and when that happens, there's no one in the NBA I'll be afraid of.
Beautifully said. I thought, Ja. To me, it looks like, Ja. I mean, what does Ja offer if he can't be, the high flyer? Can't be that athletic freak, that just dunks on 7'2" centers. If he can't get to the rim like that, and he claims it's because he's not getting the foul calls, is why he's not doing it as much. He's not a great shooter. He's not a shooter, really. He's not a shooter at all. He can hit a 3 here and there, but he's really all about getting to that hoop and collapsing that defense and then occasionally spraying the ball out. He is a good passer, but he's not a sensational passer. He's not a good defender. Actually, you know what? I give him his flowers on passing. He is a very good. I say he's an A- passer. And he's small, and he's frail. Honestly, we may have seen the end of that jaw that totally dropped jaws around the league. That may not return after the injuries he's had, which is sad. It's sad that injuries but you know what? He fucked around a lot, man. With all the other gangster stuff, unnecessary, not cultivating his brand in the right way. Right. So it's hard to have sympathy for all of that. And it's amazing to think that of the top 4 picks of that draft, RJ is the one that's cooking. Right now, our RJ. But it's sad. I hope. I hope so. He was fun to watch, Ja, when he wasn't, didn't have all the other off-court stuff. So I hope that he can get it together and somehow at least get back to maybe 90% of what he was. Because right now, he's not even 10% of what he was.
In the conversations that have erupted the last decade, I would say since the prime of KD, Steph, LeBron about player empowerment, I've always erred on the side of the player. I tend to vote because I think that's how the money is generated, not by the ownership, but by the players, their brand, as you mentioned earlier. And this is one of the few times that I'm pro-organization because Ja's disdain for Taylor Jenkins' removal of ball screens last year. They went from one of the highest uses of ball screens to one of the lowest under Taylor Jenkins, which got him fired. And Ja moped. He was like, the ball's not in my hands anymore. It's more free flowing. I'm not dictating the offense. I'm not in so much pick and roll action. Get rid of Taylor Jenkins. All right, you get rid of him. You elevate a new guy. He brings back all the ball screens. He puts the ball back in his hands. He's a high usage, ball dominant guard like Brunson was under Tibbs. And he's still not happy. At what point do you have to look in the mirror and say, maybe it's not the system, not the teammates, not the coach, the GM. It's me. I'm the one who's not just immature, but ungrateful for the opportunity I have to come to a franchise that has stuck by me through all the off the court shenanigans and bad PR. They've stuck by me and continue to build around me and this type of performance I did the fans that pay good money to go and watch you. I'm sure there's Memphis fans in New York and Memphis fans at home. They've been awful at home and away. So no matter what, he's given a poor product either way.
Poor product. It's sad to see. It's totally sad to see. But we have good things to talk about here, man.
Hell yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Great thing.
Right now, shout out to the chat. I see some great people rolling up here. We got Zach NY2LA. What's up, man? We got my guy Rez Endy 2005, a channel member. Thank you so much for joining the channel, brother. Appreciate you so much. John Rover, what's up? And Jose Castillo. We are, a great question. Can the Knicks go for 130 in 4 straight?
I don't think so.
It's going to be a little tougher tonight, but honestly, the way things are rolling, I don't think Orlando is ready for this team. I don't think they're prepared. They think they're prepared, but I just don't see it. But I don't know. What's your feeling about that?
This is the most anxious I've been for any game this season. Even the ones that we lost, I thought we were going to win. This one, though, and I don't want to get too much in the weeds on the opposing team, but because I figured people come to your channel, they want to hear Knicks. You definitely have the Knicks talk down. But in terms of the opponent, I've been watching Orlando, and I think it's inevitable they're going to regress back to the mean. The way Chicago's starting out hot, eventually they'll get back to 500 ball. Orlando's on the opposite end of that spectrum. They're playing under 500 ball. They're eventually going to be back to not just a great playoff team. I truly think they're going to be a contender. Bane is too superior a shooter his entire career in both college and the pros. Never shot below 38%. He's eventually going to get his shot back. And the fact that their starting 5 still has a plus 19 overall in playing shows the dimensions, the play style, the continuity is there. It's waiting for both Paolo Banchero, who's shooting like 28% from 3, and Bane, who's shooting the teens, to eventually come back to the mean. And when that happens, I hope it ain't against the Knicks. I hope it's a week from now or a month from now. Because if it happens tonight, this is going to be the most challenging opponent for us because they're like how we were last year. They can control the tempo and really grind it to a halt and get Paolo Banchero in ball screens in the half-court set, and that's where they cook. But if we can control the tempo and keep it pace, space and pace, I think we have a great chance to have an edge this game. But I think Paolo Banchero, I've seen all the rhetoric on Twitter about him, about Bane, about Suggs, about Franz. To me, it's incoherent and it's knee-jerk. They're a serious team with linked defensive, high IQ players that will eventually come back to form. And even though everyone's having bad shooting splits besides Wendell Carter, that team is still in a plus, that starting five. And that's something to think about, because that plus of Wendell Carter and Suggs, they're healthy at night, and we don't see all five of them. So to me, this is going to be a great game and great test for this Knicks offense.
I agree with you. This is going to be a great test for the Knicks offense and the Knicks defense, because lately Orlando has been, their offense has actually shown signs of life. They got off to a 1-3 start. They've won 4 out of their last 6 games. Granted, it was against some pretty weak competition. They tried to give the game away to Portland pretty much. And it was a miracle shot by Desmond Bane to win that game.
Unbelievable shot.
And, reminiscent of the shot that RJ hit on the Garden floor. Was that against Boston or against
the
Bulls? No, it was in the Garden. I think it was against Boston. Yeah, I remember when he hit it and everyone like hugged him and everything. It was just total mayhem.
I can't remember.
Or maybe
we don't have more than one RJ game to think about, so
I think it's hard to remember. Yeah, we should know which one it is. Talking about the starting lineup, because I heard someone else talking. Oh yeah, the starting lineup, but it's a plus lineup. I mean, I looked at their total plus minus on NBA advanced stats. The total plus minus, it's a plus 14. It's good. It's a plus. They're way down there. They're like 15th, 16th. Where the Knicks lineup is, just a little bit ahead. The starting lineup with Mitch, it's a plus 19. But that starting lineup has only played 2 games. It's only played 14 minutes. So, apples to apples, it's a little different. They've played 37 minutes. So more than double than the Knicks lineup, and they have less total plus minus. But either way, that includes they got off to a struggling start, and Mitch didn't play for the first 5 games. So we don't know how this is going to match up exactly. But I know that they're going to come out and going to want to come out and be the aggressors. Banchero said it in an interview here. He says, for us, it's important to come out and be the aggressors. Playing at MSG, if you kind of let them play their game, it's easy for them to get the crowd going and get on the run. So you want to be the aggressors and impose our will on both sides of the ball. I think taking care of the ball is going to be important, and that's something they've struggled with. They're like thinking the bottom 6 of turnovers, so that's going to be key. And we're good at holding on to the ball generally. Also, he also said just limiting some of their easy looks on offense, those nice leak outs, those deflections that OG and McCall create, those easy buckets, and then Hart gets out on the break. Like not giving them clean looks at the 3 or clean looks at the rim. Well, the Knicks have been getting clean looks off everybody. They just weren't hitting them in the beginning of the season. And at the rim, they were in the beginning of the season, a little clunky. It's come around. Obviously, Mitch is a big game changer for this team. Mitch Robinson. So we haven't had a full confirmation yet, but I'm pretty sure he is going to play today. Right? Would you say?
Yes.
I hope so. Mitch has played a total of 65 minutes this season. His total plus minus is 46. I mean, the other 4 Knicks starters have played an average of 330 minutes total.
This is why I kind of judge whether I want to talk ball with someone Knicks fan or not on their opinion of Mitchell Robinson. They constantly have Mitchell Robinson in trade scenarios, or they're complaining about him nonstop on Twitter posts. I have no interest. I usually block, mute, or just ignore completely. Because to me, Mitchell Robinson, if you don't understand his impact on the game, you don't really understand basketball. You might not even love basketball, because I love defense, and he impacts defense more than maybe everyone but 4 or 5 players in the entire NBA on the defensive side. I'm going to give him $25, $27 million a year, and that's the high end. I don't know anyone who said more than that annually. I think it's worth it. To me, we don't win a championship without Mitchell Robinson healthy for that run. We have to, because of how compromised we are behind him. Hot Porty, below average defender. Karl-Anthony Towns, below average rim protector, good individual defender. So to me, we have to have Mitch in order to balance out the front court. And he is so dominant on the offensive boards, mashing that, which is he became that under Tibbs, mashing that with the 3-point volume. How do you beat us? I think it's nearly impossible.
Yeah. Now, do you think, and this is something that grew out of this conversation I was having with Stephen Foxy. I don't know if he's in the chat here or whatever. But he was wondering if Brown and the front office are going to continue this load management, but also limiting his actual minutes in game, like 18 minutes a game. You think this guy's going to continue so that so that he can play each and every playoff game?
I'm fine with that. I mean, I took it very far on the KOT show. I was like, put him on ice till April. I really don't care, because what he brings to a game, you don't need. He's not like a rhythm shooter, right? You don't need to get him hot from three. He's offensive rebounds. He's giving you second chance points. He's protecting the rim, blocking shots, guarding two on the ball. Whatever it takes to have him ready, able, and healthy for the playoffs, you do it. That means he misses every back-to-back. That means that his minutes never really increase past 18 or 22. I'm fine with all those combinations of protocols, whatever it takes for this man to be healthy and suited up once the playoffs start. Because, man, after Brunson, I think he's the second most important player on the roster.
I totally agree. He, in terms of the impact that he has on both ends. Because his offensive rebounding just creates so many second chance opportunities. And for a team that's shooting really well, to then get all these second chance opportunities, that's why the Knicks, they're going for their fourth straight 130-point game tonight. And they even did last night without him. And then defensively, he gets into people's heads, and he impacts the way that they want to play the game. So that alone, that's really hard to measure exactly like how valuable that is. But any talk about trading him, I think, is ridiculous. Who are you going to get that's going to impact the game the way he does in such short amount of time?
And I think one of the most underrated traits of Mitchell Robinson is that of all the bids we have on this roster, to me, he's the best screen setter. Right? He presents such a valuable decoy for Jalen Brunson or anyone, Deuce, Bridges, and pick and roll opportunities, because you have to guard him. And he's shown, now that we're giving him more lob opportunities and giving him opportunities at the rim, you can't stop him as a dunker. You can just hope to foul him and hope he only makes 1 of 2 from the free throw line, or in some cases 0 of 2 from the free throw line. But I think he even gives us opportunities to play 5 out, not traditionally in like the standard objective way of thinking, but he is such a cutting threat and such an offensive rebounding threat. You cannot take your man off of him and double when someone's driving or someone's kicked out to 3. You have to stay honest on him so you can still have the shell of a 5-out offense, because if you miss, if you don't box out on him, he's going to grab an offensive rebound, and he's become such quicker with his decision-making on spraying it back up to the perimeter. He's no longer grabbing a rebound and holding it. He's grabbing Mike Brown or March, whoever it is on the bench who's having him do this, is having him grab that rebound and immediately pass out to a 3-point shooter, which again is part of that 5-out offense.
Especially in that high pick and roll when you're using him as the screener with like Brunson, or now you can do it with McCall, OG. I've even seen him do it with Cat. Once he starts rolling, you can't leave him, because he's just dunk off you. Though we haven't seen enough alley-oops. We haven't seen him being fed enough so far. So that's another aspect of the game that's still yet to be tapped into. Those lobs that RJ used to be able to do. We have more that in the bag still that we haven't even utilized yet. So you can see here the Knicks offense has been scorching so far this season. NBA itself tweeted this out. The third in offensive rating. They have a 121.6 offensive rating. That's points per 100 possessions. They have 130 plus points in 3 straight games. A franchise first. Can they keep it rolling versus Orlando tonight? That is a good question. I think they can offensively. You feel less confident about that?
Well, I mean, Orlando's last year we had a great bench. The bench has been disappointing on the offensive side of the ball. Tyus Jones especially has been absolute wash. Chase Richardson's taken a step back. Anthony Black has not taken a step forward. But somehow those guys are on ball more than someone like Franz Wagner. But to me, it's like, can we break their defense? Yes. But if Jamal Mosley gets his head out of his ass and puts the ball in his two best players' hands or three best players' hands, including Desmond Bane, and stop with this like weird, complicated offense that doesn't have their best player initiating the action, it could get dicey because Bane and Franz and Paolo are legit scoring threats. I wouldn't say 3 level because Franz and Paolo have like career averages of 30 or below. So I'm not going to say 3 level yet, but they have the propensity to be one in a single game. So to me, it's about isolating.
They can get hot. We've seen them get hot from deep.
Yes. Yeah. I like the idea of immediately, like we did last game, we started last game going zone because Memphis has been struggling from 3. I think we should start off the bat going zone against this team, except for Bane. Don't let Bane get open looks because you don't want him to finally catch rhythm against the Knicks. But everybody else, let them shoot threes, collapse the paint, and don't let kickouts and easy repetition things come from cuts or spray outs with them having their offense set. Get into a zone and force them to take difficult mid-range shots. And then if we get some rhythm in the first quarter, I think the game will be in the bag. But Orlando is not Memphis. You can't if you let them get back in the game, there's a likelihood you might lose.
Yeah. And the perimeter defense in totality of the total 10 games has been suspect so far.
Yes,
the 3-point defense, they're allowing second worst. They're allowing teams to shoot 39.4%. But then I looked under the hood. But in the last 4 games, it's down to 38%. So it's starting to come down. And I think with more Mitch, actually that helps the perimeter defenders. They can leak out a little further and suffocate that 3-point line a little more. I feel like that's going to end up, like you were saying, a lot of stuff is going to end up coming down to the mean. I think that's a little. I don't think they're going to be second worst in the NBA by game 25. I think they'll be down in the middle, somewhere around 15th. Hopefully, the thing is also they still have that Thibodeau philosophy ingrained in them, where protecting the paint and the rim is more important to them than the 3-point line. I don't think they'd say that, but you can see it at times, the decisions that they make, the switching. But luckily, no more drop coverage. No more drop coverage. That is a big relief. From time to time, you see a little bit
with Mitch.
Cat is definitely a big reason why our perimeter defense has been weak so far. He 100%. Just is not.
I said 100%. To me, that the 3 main culprits have been Cat, Yabusele, and Josh Hart. And I think the fact that Josh Hart has started to play better on both ends of the ball in the last 3 or 4 games, back to back, he's been better at recovering and closing out on shooters, specifically in the corners. To me, he was the most compromised of any of the main rotation guys. That really led to us being one of the worst and having wide open things was him not knowing whether he should hedge or should he get back to his shooter. And it's like, bro, at some point you got to gain continuity with your guys in practice. Like it's repetition. And Cat, I think they've had him more at the level, staying on the perimeter instead of having a crash back on the perimeter when the ball flows back to the line. But Yabusele is just out of shape. That'll come too. So I think those 3 guys, there's hope that at least Hart and Yabusele would continue to trend upward. And then you just have to cross your fingers and hope that Cat gets his head in order.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. Shout out to the chat. Hey, if this is your first time here, subscribe, turn on a notification bell so you are alerted when we go live. We got the great Lee Escobedo. Is that how you pronounce it? I would say Escobedo.
Yeah, that's okay. You're saying it the way my family says it.
Okay, Escobedo. I'm Esguerra, Escobedo. That's right. So we both have, one thing that I love about you is that you look at things from a storytelling point of view as well, and that's something that I try to do. So I love that we share that approach. We got here. Who we got in the chat? We got Ruben Crespo. What's up, George? What's our longest home winning streak to start a season? Great question.
Recently, wasn't it like 10 in 2013?
Oh yes, I think you're right.
Like 10 in a row.
Longest home winning streak.
Before this season, that was the funnest season I've ever had. This one's blowing that one out the water, though.
Yeah. Let's see. That's just longest winning streaks. But let's see. We had an 18-game winning streak. Yeah, this doesn't tell us the beginning of the season. But wait, I can look over here. What was it you were saying?
2013. I thought we won 10 in a row in 2013. Yeah.
2013. 10 in a row. Nope. No, that was in March of 2013 to April. They went on a 13-game winning streak. The 2012-13 Knicks. That was the Melo Knicks. I think they had a couple of winning streaks that year.
Okay, it's better than I thought.
Yeah, let's see it. Looking at it here, it doesn't say. I'm just looking at the overall win streaks because it's a great question. This might be it to start the season. Well, it depends on. Yeah, this might be it. Oh, here we go. 7-game winning streak. The 1970-71 Knicks. From October 24th to November 6th.
After the chip.
We're already there. So we
tied. Hell yeah.
Nice.
I feel like this starting five, one of the things I love so much about you. Have like the players, this is what they did last year with different teams. If you took those plus minus numbers and those advanced stats and you add to what we were doing, here's a potential of what this could look like. You're forecasting. To me, I could see that we share an optimism in terms of how we view the Knicks. All those stats, and it never came true, right? Because of Tibbs, because of the personnel, because of the GMs. Yeah. Now, brother, all that forecasting you're doing, I feel like this is the manifestation of what you always envisioned this Knicks team to be.
It's 100%. It's 100%. This is yes, the vision of what I was hoping for all this time. That is what's great is that I'm happy that it's for Mike Brown, man. This guy has been around forever. He got fired from his last job really unnecessarily, I thought.
Yeah, I agree with that.
The Lakers thing went oddly. He never got enough credit for getting the Cavaliers to the finals. But the years he spent at Golden State definitely, I think, really helped turn him into the coach that he is now with these Knicks. And he's putting all those philosophies and concepts in place. And this team is embracing it. And that's the one thing that I love about the team and him. And first, I'm going to talk about the team. What I love about what the team is doing right now, it seems like everyone is 100% embracing these concepts right now. I think at first it didn't look like it because I think they still didn't understand the concepts, but they were willing to learn. And now we can see by game 10, they're 7-3. They're going on they've won 6, or they seek to win 6 straight tonight. That is basically an example of how they've committed to winning in the Mike Brown way. The other amazing thing about Mike Brown is he had a guy last night go 1 for 10. Do you think Thibs would have allowed that? You think a player under Thibs would have been comfortable enough to keep shooting after he missed his first 4, or he was 1 for 7? That is the beauty of the Mike Brown philosophy. Not to shame players, not to make them feel like they got to look over their shoulder like Obi used to do. Look at how Obi blossomed in Indiana under Rick Carlisle. Look at what's happening with Quentin Grimes. That guy's going to get paid. He's going to get paid next summer. That is a testament to Mike Brown's coaching style, where he doesn't. He's not a dark cloud over the players if they're not playing the exact way that, or they feel comfortable enough to keep following the game strategy. And that I was really impressed with last night. You didn't hear any negativity about it. And I think that's going to go a long way.
To answer your question, oh man, a starter. I think a starter would have had the comfortability. A Randall or a Brunson or an OG or even an RJ. I think they would have had the comfortability to have the leash and keep shooting. But a bench player like the guys you mentioned, the Obi, the Grimes, no. But would Mike Brown, would the bench players on this team have that comfortability? Would Clarkson or Deuce or Kolwick feel comfortable for Tom Dadier shooting 1 for 10 if they miss their first 4? I don't know. I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Clarkson will keep shooting. Deuce will keep shooting.
Maybe there's definitely.
Remember, Grimes was a starter, and that was the thing that he didn't like. That he's a starter, and if he misses three pointers, you know, he gets pulled out.
Yeah.
Similar, it happened to RJ as well in the beginning years, and then RJ just stopped shooting. I think that's the dynamic that we're kind of like overlooking there. Like they were like, oh well, if I keep doing this, they were self-policing.
That's fair,
and
I agree with that.
And that kills the structure of the offense, because that means if they're not going to take that open shot because they're so afraid if they miss it that they'll get pulled, then it's hurting the actual game plan for the offense itself. So then that's why you get late shot clock shots. You see Josh Hart does it to himself a little bit, but look how much better he's been now since he's given up that. He's like, I'm going to let it fly. And it's working. I don't know how he's making those buckets with that busted mitt. But, I mean, you know, there's definitely a gray area in there. But I just feel like Mike Brown is empowering his players. Is what it feels like.
He should, because he has a way better roster than Tibbs had for the majority of Tibbs' tenure here. And when Tibbs had most of his roster last year, we got to the ECF. So I think we can do even further under Mike Brown. Just as we were talking before the show started, I feel differently about Tom Thibodeau than you do, but I'm not a Tibbs lover. And I think there was time for an upgrade. And we got an upgrade in terms of what we talked about: flexibility, more trust, being more expansive to other ideas and other voices in the room, and being a true collaborator with the players on what works best for them. And one of the ones we've seen that work the best with me is Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges absolutely seems like he's having way more fun playing under Mike Brown than to Tom Thibodeau, because he's not just that two-guard role under Tibbs was stand in the corner and shoot threes and crash at the glass. That was all you did the whole game. It had no versatility to it. Now Bridges is on ball. Now Bridges is our backup playmaker with the bench. Bridges is going to the rim more than he ever has, shooting more threes with fluidity. Like, I agree with you. The starters look way better under Mike Brown than they ever did under Tibbs.
Yeah. Let's move off the Thibs bashing, but it wasn't supposed to be a Thibs bashing. It was more about praising Brown. Yeah. It was more like, you know, like that they feel more comfortable, and it just shows that OG could just go 1 for 10 and but still keep hustling on the defensive end. I think he still was a plus 22, right? Or something. He was still phenomenal, plus minus.
He was unbelievable.
And he was 6 of 7 inside the arc. So he was impactful in that way.
Great job on Jaren Jackson Jr. last night, keeping him contained, not letting him erupt for a career game like so many other guys have done in Madison Square Garden.
You think he's gonna be on Paolo tonight, right?
Got to. For sure, he's got to. And Bridges on Franz,
Mikal and Franz?
I would put Mikal and Franz, yeah.
So then, who's going to be on, I guess, Shamet? No, Mitch is starting.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. So Mitch, that means it puts Cat into play. So Cat may have to pick up Paolo or Franz at times.
I think Cat will probably start off on Wendell Carter Jr., so he should definitely not be in drop and stay on the perimeter because he's one of their best shooters. I think if Mitch is healthy, you're going to see more switching and probably some zone too. They don't have to be so contingent on man if you have Mitchell Robinson there, where it's like one guy stays on one guy the whole game. You can switch off a ball screen. You're going to have Mitch or OG or Bridges now on somebody, and good luck trying to cut them. Even Brunson's been playing the best defense of his career.
He has. I'm so glad you mentioned that. He has been playing some great defense. I love that he's been also working to strip the ball game as well, much more so than in years past. What I'd like to see is some more pre-switching, especially out on the perimeter. If like Cat gets caught, I think Franz would be a tougher matchup for Cat than Paolo. I think Franz is a little quicker, a little more slippery. But then again, Cat's been good on one-on-one. defense.
Yeah. Tibbs tried that pre-switch in the post with Cat last year, and it would kind of end up being a disaster because I feel like OG got tired of having to cover up for all of Cat's mismatches and trying to slide in there on to guard the ball handler. I think if someone gets on Cat on the perimeter, leave him there because if he's solid above the nail, it's when you get him below the nail that he starts getting absolutely demolished, and not only demolished, but he fouls too while he lets somebody score at the rim. Keep him at the level, let him guard the level. I'm okay with him on the perimeter.
Hey, you know what? I'm glad you brought that up too about the fouling, because even now, I think a big marked improvement on Cat's behalf, and generally the whole team, when they get beat, they're not fouling. Cat, if he gets beat, whatever, he gets beat, he tries to recover, but he doesn't have a stupid, silly foul. Once in a while, he does it, but in general, he's cut those way down. And that's, I think, has gone a long way because he gets to stay on the court longer, number one. And number two, his frustration level doesn't spike. He gets a little bit frustrated at times, and then he tries to get a little payback on the other end. That seems to have really been removed from his game to, at least not completely, but it's gone from whatever it was to about a quarter of it. And that's a big benefit for the team right now.
Great call. I'm actually more worried about him picking up ticky-tack fouls offensively. That's where most of my concerns are, more than.
And that's where he is. That's where he is picking up those fouls now.
Right. It's the charges. Yeah. It's the charging fouls that he's getting inside. Bruh, man. Oh hell! Especially it's usually against an undersized guy too.
Clear out elbow.
Bruh, come on. Man.
Yeah.
It's aggravating. But hey, you're spoiled with the riches when that's what the thing you're complaining about in the game is like Karl-Anthony Towns, an All-NBA, All-Star player, picking up ticky-tack fouls. Look, the days of Julius Randle are gone, and I'm thankful for him.
Oh my God, I'm so thankful. All right, let's look at what's going on here. Tommy Beer tweeted this out. He compared the Knicks' first 10 games last season to the first 10 games this season. Make it a little larger. Are you able to see it?
Let me pull it up. Yeah. I just pulled up at YouTube.
Okay, I'll just start recapping them here.
Now
okay. So you can see it's like a marked improvement up and down in all aspects of both, even on both sides of the ball. Last year, their three-point attempts, they were at 34. This year, they're at 44. That's a plus 10 change. The corner three-point attempts, they were just shy of, they were about 10 last year. Now they're over 13, so it's a plus 3.7 in corner threes. And they're hitting them at a crazy clip now as well, which is not here, but I had that in the other stat. The catch and shoot threes, 23.9 last year. It's up to 32.7. It's a plus 8.8. Mid range is down, which is nice, minus 3.3. Free throw attempts are up. They're averaging an additional 3.5 more free throws per game than last year. Passes per game, they're averaging almost 30 more passes per game than last year. They're averaging almost 4 more drives per game. Points per game via handoffs, dribble handoffs, 2. And isolation frequency is down 1.8%. I actually had all this stuff in a different, I don't know if you saw the other video I did about the catch and shoot video, the secrets of what's unlocking this Knicks offense. And the percentages in the in catch and shoot are amazing. Like Brunson is up 112% over last year. OG's up like 48% from last year. And then their three-point shooting, because they were an efficient three-point shooting team. They just didn't lean into that. That strength that they had. Minutes per game for starters. Last year they averaged 35.7 minutes per game. They're down to 30.9. That's almost a 5-minute down shift in minutes per game. That goes a long way. That goes a long way over time. It keeps guys fresher during games and throughout the season as well. Then there's bench points per game. They are up 12 points per game this year over last year. They were at 19.9. This year they're at 31.9. And the bench got off to a slow start too. Pace is up, though not at the level that we all expected, but they're over the 100 mark. They're at 100.4, where last year they were at 96.5, which is a plus 3.9. And then offensive rating, well, now they got off to a brilliant start. Remember last year the offense was sizzling last year as well. And that was 118.6. This year they're a plus 3 on that. They're 121.6, which is second best in the NBA behind the Houston Rockets, the Houston Rockets have played very inferior opponents so far this year.
Very true.
Defensive rating. This one's really interesting. Last year, 113.8 defensive rating. Now it's 112. So a 1.8 improvement. And then net rating, 9.5, the best net rating in the East. They are 4.5 points better than the second place team, which the Detroit Pistons. That is phenomenal. This team is cooking on all cylinders right now.
The two stats I look at that to me are the most profound in this list, to me, one is an indictment of Tom Thibodeau, which is the passes per game.
It's become the indictment of Tom Thibodeau show.
And then the other one.
We didn't plan this. We didn't plan this. Sorry, guys.
And I'm not a dictator.
I know. It's just a reality. We're looking at reality. And if it continues like this, there won't be any room for anyone to argue otherwise. So
the other one to me is an indictment of Leon Rose, which is the bench points per game. I don't think Leon gave Tibbs a good bench last season. Depending on campaign to be a spark off the bench, you're starting, with one hand tied behind your back. Having Jordan Clarkson and to some extent Josh Hart now off the bench has been unbelievable. And also to have Mitchell Robinson healthy to start the season. Mitch was out for how many months in a row?
I think Shamet also getting hurt.
Yes, agreed.
For them too.
Agreed.
They didn't know where to pivot there. And Precious, he's not a shooter. He's not a scorer. He's, good defender. I always liked Precious, but he just frustrated the shit out of me offensively.
Me too.
He had awkward pieces. And I agree with you 100%. But I think mostly it was the Shamet injury that really threw it out of whack. And then, Thibs didn't lean into DeLon Wright enough. He kept turning to Cameron Payne, even though Cam Payne got off to a really good start, though, last year.
Yeah, we didn't have DeLon till the trade deadline, too.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but dude, you could have traded for him earlier in the season. There's no rules that say you can't trade for him earlier. Fair. So, yeah, I agree with you on that.
The passes per game, that's right. That's coaching. That's an initiative and you honestly, you learn that in practice. Those are the type of repetitious things that happen, and not in game time, but in practice time, to make the effort to say, look, when this guy's here, you pass it to him. If he's defender situated here, you don't pass it to him. You find this outlet instead. To me, that massive jump of 30 more passes a game, to me, that is the Mike Brown system at work in real time.
Totally. And the other one too that that we shouldn't overlook is the drives per game, which is really interesting because the whole Thibs offense was based on driving to the hoop. And they drove 51 times last year. We're up to 55 now. And one of the reasons that, according to Novak on the broadcast last night, that's possible is because of the space that's being created now. It's giving more room for guys to drive. And because when you have, Mikal hitting 65% of his corner threes and OG hitting 52% of his, you can't sag off those guys to help on a drive. And then Shamet out on the court, you leave him open, he's going to hit that three. We know that happens. So it's giving room for Cat and Brunson to drive more, and we're also seeing Mikal drive more, OG driving more. It's a wonderful thing to see. I'd like to see that maybe go up a little bit because that's the whole part of that's another key aspect of the Mike Brown game. Deep paint touches, spray the ball, or finish if you have a clean look. And then the isolation frequency. Isolation frequency is down.
That's also an indictment of Leon Rose's roster last year. We didn't have a single player off the bench that was capable of driving to the hoop. Deuce Bride had a career low finishing. He was absolutely atrocious finishing at the rim last year. He got all of his points on catch and shoot threes, so and a little bit of the mid range as well. And then you had Payne, who got constantly swatted at the rim. You had Precious, who wasn't capable of putting the ball on the floor and driving at all. DeLon Wright got swatted at the rim. You really had nobody. Hart was in the starting lineup. He can drive, but the bench itself, when any of the starters set, you had no dribble penetration. Now you do. Clarkson, he's shown he into the rim. You can double him, and he would still find a pivot to put it up and that hook shot and get 2 points at the rim. Deuce is driving better. Hart's now on the bench. He's a one-man transition. Man, we're getting to the actions faster too, which allow for more downhill opportunities as well.
Totally. Hey guys, check out the Knicks merch store. It's Knicks-Verse-Shop.square.site. Check it out. Got some great new stuff, and I'm going to be putting up some more stuff early next week. Really cool. I got my New York basketball shirt here. You can get that there. This one here. Love it. I actually want to get this color as well. We got the hats are in. I didn't wear my hat because I just showered and did my hair. Wanted to look good. I love the KOT hat right there. And also, don't forget, if you really want to support the Knicks-Verse itself, become a member today. You get priority treatment in the comments and members-only shorts, which right now I've been doing halftime shows. Members only, which is fun to see. And you get discounts on merch, chat room, and shout-outs.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Love to see it, George.
Let's look at, yeah, man. Do it. Join the Knicks-Verse. The last 5 games for the Knicks, well, they've won them all. We know we just talked about the Memphis one, 133. Look at that, 330-plus games in a row. And then they just barely missed a 130-plus game against the Bulls with 128 right there. Interestingly, the Wizards is the one team that Knicks could not crack 120 against. I got to say, the Wizards, if I was a Wizards fan, I would be excited about my team.
Oh, ball.
That team has got something.
Yep.
Sarr is interesting. Keyshawn George.
Bingo.
Who's out? They had a bunch of guys.
Trey Johnson from Dallas.
Trey Johnson. That guy can shoot.
Yep.
Yeah. That's one of those young, exciting, hopeful teams. Definitely. I think they're going to start picking up some victories here and there. They almost beat the Magic the other night. No, was it the Magic? No, Detroit. The
Pistons, the overtime.
Yeah, they had overtime, exactly.
Yep.
Here are the last 5 games for the Orlando Magic. They're 3-2. They in overtime, doesn't say that they barely beat the Trailblazers there, 115-112, and a miracle shot by Desmond Bane. But the game was tied, so it was going to go into, I think, it was overtime, right?
Which one?
The last game, the Portland game for Magic.
I thought it was at the buzzer.
Oh, was it? Okay, so they were almost going into overtime.
I can't remember if it won in overtime or at the 4th quarter buzzer.
Yeah. They lost to the Celtics, but they were back-to-back games. You know, it's hard to beat teams back-to-back, to sweep a back-to-back. But they won the previous one. They lost to a very depleted Hawks team, and they gave up 127 points to them. So that's not a good sign. But they took care of business against the Wizards. Lit them up for 125. They won by 31 right there. So here are the team leaders and stats. Paolo Banchero is leading the Magic with 23.3 points per game. And Jalen Brunson is leading the Knicks with 27.7 points per game. Rebounds. Paolo's 9.1 rebounds. And then Mr. Towns, 12.7. His rebounding has been superb, especially the defensive rebounding. Assists. Desmond Bane is leading the Magic with 4.4 assists, and Brunson's up to 6.6 assists per game. Do you think it's possible for Jalen to get up there to finish 7, maybe 8 assists per game by the end of the season?
Yeah, I do. I thought it was possible before the season started when I was super, super optimistic that he could average a double-double. I don't think that's going to happen just because of the ball is not sticking. So even if he passes somebody, there's going to be another pass after that. Yeah. A hockey assist until someone
hockey assist. I mean, we should have a hockey assist stat in NBA. The way the game is played now, the way you see the way the Thunder plays, the way
Right.
Warriors have been playing for years. I think we should see that stat. It'd be nice.
Yeah, I do think it's possible he could end the season higher, especially once guys kind of start returning to form, like Deuce McBride. His shooting gets a little bit better. Yaburseli's shooting gets a little better when he's sharing the court with those guys. More lobs from Mitch. It's possible.
Yeah. Well, here are the actual team stats. Orlando's 5-6. The Knicks are 7-3. Orlando's 10th in the standings in the East. The Knicks are second, behind the Detroit Pistons. The home record is 7-0. They're going for 8-0 tonight. They're going for the 6th win in a row for the Knicks. They have the 3rd highest offensive rating in the NBA, the 7th best defensive rating in the NBA, which is a total eye-opener, and the 4th best net rating in the NBA. There's going to be a big matchup for both teams. I think it's a nice test. It's going to be a barometer for where they're at right now. I am predicting a Knicks victory. And I think the Knicks, you know what? Now, going through it all, it might be tough for them to crack the 130, but I could see like a 122 to like 111 type of victory for the Knicks.
I like that. Yeah, I think it's somewhere between 8 to 12 points. Knicks win. It could even be a little bit closer than that, to like 105 to 116. But this Orlando is one thing they're unbelievable at. It's defense. They just need some shots go down, not from everybody, but at least 2 guys in that starting rotation to be able to hit threes. They're not a team to take lightly. Again, don't take your foot off the neck. They're not Memphis. If you let them come back in the 3rd quarter, there's a chance it's going to overtime. So don't play with your food. Kill it and eat it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Don't play with your food is a great way to say that, because I feel like the Knicks did that last night with the Memphis Grizzlies. All right, man. This has been a great show. Once again.
Much love, brother.
Lee Escobedo, the way my family would say it. Definitely follow him on social media. Check him out on the KOT show, the Nick of Time show. He does the post games live with Jay Ellis, my guy. Catch practically every show. And he is a fabulous writer, covers the NBA. His articles are printed in The Guardian and Bleacher Report.
Yep.
And
Yard Barker, over 3 of them. I'm doing basic NBA coverage, like day-to-day for Yard Barker, long-form political pieces for The Guardian, and then WNBA and NBA long-form coverage for Bleacher Report.
Nice. Check him out. And, if you haven't subscribed to Into the Knicks-Verse, now is the time. We're over 11,000 subscribers. Hit the thumbs up button for us. Share the video. That'd be great. Drop your comments. And if you're watching this later on, drop your comments. I try to read them all. I say you guys are my collaborators. Sometimes when I overlook something, you point it out, and that's great. But I also love the love as well. Like, who doesn't? And shout out to John Rover. He says Knicks 118, Magic 101. If that happens, there'll be a lot of people climbing aboard the Knicks train. This thing will be, we're gonna have to add a whole bunch more cars to the Knicks train, because people are gonna just be jumping on board. They're already starting to feel it. Man, that'd be fabulous. Either way, whatever happens, I want the W. I want to close out this homestand without a loss, and that includes Friday against the Heat. But cannot overlook this game tonight. It's all about this game. And getting Mitch back, I think is going to make a world of difference. For this team.
Yep.
Because you saw, I don't think that collapse that we saw last game would have happened with Mitch on the court.
Agreed.
Yeah. Especially in the way that Brown's been using him in those 3-minute bursts, which allows Mitch to just go in and just play balls out, and just wreak havoc, and then he goes back and rests. I think that's awesome. Wiz BKLA says 142 to 104. Now, if that happens, I'm out the window.
We love that, man.
This post-game show is going to be insane if that happens.
I love that.
We'll be popping champagne. We'll be like, yeah. All right, Lee. So we'll be doing this again. We'll definitely be doing this again. Love having you on the show. Definitely want to get you and Jay Ellis on the show as well. That'd be a great collab like we did before in the past. It's been a while. And eventually going to take calls here. We're going to take calls through the Discord. Just got to, I have it set up. Just got to follow through on it.
Yeah, man, so, I really appreciate you having me on, brother. It's always an honor. You're a mentor of mine. You're someone I look up to. Again, I got into this because of you and Jay Ellis. So I never want to be on this podcast and not give you your well-deserved, well-due flowers. You're a great person in this community. You look out for other people. You open doors for other people. You're one of the first people to have me on your podcast. You don't have to do that, right? Like, there's no reason for you to do it. You do it because you have a good heart and you care about seeing other people win. And I love that about you. And I'll always support you unconditionally. Thank you so much for having me. It's been an honor.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that as well. I mean, I love your insight. You're a great presence to have on the show. And I appreciate you coming on, man. And we're going to keep doing it.
Man.
Yeah, man. Okay. This has been Into the Knicks-Verse. Let's go Knicks. We went 10 minutes longer than I thought we would go. All right. Thank you guys for watching this. I will see you around the Knicks-Verse. Let's go. Let's get this 6th straight win.